Hi, it's Joe again. This is week four, module four of our course, Nonprofit Board Governance and Management. We will be talking about fundraising, and I have a few comments about that topic. Before I get to them, however, I wanted to say two things. First, um, we just got the documents graciously provided by your classmate to look at the 990 and the financial documents of the organization in depth. And so while we were intending to focus last week on fiduciary responsibility of the board, I'd like you, if you're working linearly, to continue to work through module three, take a look in depth at not only the 990, but also the board minutes. They reveal or can reveal important information about the board's engagement with fiduciary responsibility of the organization. And then you'll have plenty of time to move on to module four, which is fundraising responsibility. The second thing I want to say before I talk about that is simply that I am so grateful for the really wonderful discussion you're having among yourselves, and I hope I'm contributing usefully to that. It seems as though many of you know each other. That's terrific. It fosters the kind of lively discussion I might expect in a classroom, but frankly didn't anticipate we'd be able to have online. So that's great. Thank you. With respect to fundraising, I noticed that in the responses that you gave to the quiz about board responsibilities, many of you didn't talk about fundraising. Fundraising is really important. There's a lot of things that are really important in nonprofit board and government management, but one of them really is fundraising, and it tends to be the thing that in general I found the board is least enthusiastic about. The boards I've known, and of course they're not even a random sample of boards across the country, but the boards I've known have generally been happy to promote awareness of the organization, talk about it with their friends, tell them how wonderful their staff is and the work they do. And they sometimes stop short of saying, and I'd like to ask you for a gift. Now, it's common in a fundraising solicitation to end the solicitation by saying, would you consider a gift in the amount of to whomever you're asking to donate? That line or a line like it might commonly be spoken by the fundraising staff, but all the way up to that point, if a board member isn't comfortable making that ask him or herself, it's really important for them to be involved by identifying and cultivating and being involved in the solicitation of the gift. One of the things we know about why people give to nonprofits, and I'll post some of this information this week, is that the best reason, not the best, the most likely reason for someone to give to a nonprofit is because they're on the board. The second most likely reason for someone to give to a nonprofit is that they know someone on the board. So it's really important for the board to mine their networks as effectively as they can. It's true, as I've heard many board members say, that when they ask their friend for a donation, their friend will ask them for a donation, and it's kind of a quid pro quo. We'd actually like the board to be able to move beyond that, to not just say to a person, give me a donation for mine, I'll give you a donation for yours, but rather to engage their friends, not all of whom will have enthusiasm for the mission of this organization that you work for, but some of whom will, to engage them in a way that they become not just donors, but also advocates. It's important for the board to help us find those people from among their hopefully vast networks. This also speaks to the point of work, wealth, and wisdom, or time, treasure, and talent. It's really important for a board to include, if not everyone, then certainly some portion of the board with the primary ability to bring wealth or treasure to the organization. That can be someone who has substantial resources themselves, or she might be the CEO of an organization that would be interested in supporting the cause, or he might know people who have resources because of the position he has professionally. So wealth is really important. I'll be sharing some information about that with you this week, but please don't, let me say this, you ignore the responsibilities of the board for fundraising at your own peril. There are nonprofits, of course, that operate as pass-through grants for national, state, or local organizations. So, in other words, the nonprofit operates as essentially an extension of a government grant program. But for all of us who rely upon public donations, the board is an important piece of that. Even if the fundraising staff is great, the board's really important. So please bear that in mind. Please take a look at all the materials, read through the required reading. There's actually a quiz that is associated with Module 4. But again, let's make sure that we get through a thorough discussion of Module 3 and then continue on to Module 4. We have plenty of time in the course of our time together through the course to get through all of it, and I want to give each piece its due. Thanks very much. Please ask questions or pose questions, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you.